Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay. All right. So we did last time verse 19 of chapter 9, and today we'll be doing two verses, hopefully together, 20 and 21, but because they go together. And we are learning about Krishna Bhagwan is talking about himself, who God is. And last time we saw that he said, I give heat and I withhold the rain and send forth the rain. And basically, through the sun, all this is accomplished, and sun is coming from that Brahman only. That's how we have to see it. And then he also said, "O Arjuna, I am immortality and also death," because sometimes we take death as a very negative thing, and he's saying no, it's both of them are God only, and existence and non-existence, and there was a very deep meaning with it, and we saw all the deep meaning about it, manifest, unmanifest, and some other way also that if. And then we saw in Taittiriya Upanishad that At, Sat and Asat. So all that together, we learned all that. So now, Krishna Bhagwan is going to mention those people who do worship, but with a desire. So Krishna Bhagwan doesn't leave anybody say, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Not like that. He talks about everybody. But in the end, he always says, go for the highest. Why not, right? Go for the highest. But he mentioned so we can understand. And, there is nothing wrong with this, but, we know the result, what he's going to tell us, and then we can decide that what we want. So here is verse 20. This tune is different. And I'm not a very good singer, but I'll try. Tre vidya mam soma paputa papaha Yagne rishtva swargatim prathayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. So Tre Vidya is the knower of the three Vedas. So in those days there were three, and then later on Atharva Veda was added. But so we can take it as knower of four Vidya, Chaturvedi and Trivedi and all that. That's the way the name came. Knowers of all these. Mam is me. Soma Paha, the drinkers of Soma. So there's some kind of drink that they had in those days, and there's a lot of controversy of what exactly the drink was, but something that ritually they drank when they were doing the yagna. So for us, that's good enough. Put papaha is purified from the sin. Yagna is sacrifice, and we know what yagna, homa, havan, and all this, that's what they are referring to. Ishtva is worshipping. Swargatim, way to the heaven. Prarthayante, we know about the word prarthana, that's where it's come down, that they, pray. Te is there. Punyam, we all know punya, punya and pap, so that's, here it says holy, but everybody knows the meaning of punya, something positive. Asadya have reached Surendra Lokam, the world of the Lord of Gods. So here you can call it heaven. There's several names of it. And we know that why Surendra Lokam, because Indra को सुरेंद्र बोलते हैं. इंद्र जो देवताओं का राजा है उसका, so उसके लिए सुरेंद्र लोक उसका जो जगह है. Ashnanti, eat. And Ashnanti, when we say eat, we think that maybe eating just good food. No, it is eating from all five senses. It means completely satisfying your senses over there. Here we say, ये मिल जाए वो मिल जाए, वहाँ तुमको एकदम भर भर के मिलेगा जो चाहिए, like that. So Divyan is divine. Divi is again heaven. Deva Bhogan, the divine pleasures. Because whenever they depict कि भाई स्वर्ग लोक में कैसा है तो खूब नाच गाना हो रहा है, वो अप्सराएं हैं, खाना पीना, just everything looks great. But we'll see what they mean over here. Okay. So what are the different points? Trividya, like I mentioned that the three Vidyas are the three Vedas, and now we can say four Vedas. So in the Vedas, I have mentioned this before, and I will repeat that again. We get some idea that Vedas are very bulky and very big. Right? That's why it's very hard for us to handle that thousands of shlokas in each, and it's so complicated and all that in Sanskrit. But 80% of them is called Karma Kand. How to do all these yagna, yagas, how to control all these different forces and जो भी है, and अपने desire को कैसे fulfill करना, because they know, the Rishi Munis know that most of the people want to fulfill their desires. And if you do it with dharma, there's nothing wrong with it, but that's how you begin. Some people may be vairagi from the very birth because they have done all the sadhanas in their previous life. But in case you have not, if you have a desire, they are not against it. Go, please, by all means, fulfill, but do it by dharma. Right? So that's why the procedure is given, how to fulfill this desire. So that is almost 80% of it. And then there is upasana also in it. Upasana is, how to connect to God. So different methods are given, and that may be about 16% of it. And then what is rest of the 4% is the Upanishad portion. And Upanishads are the one where, nature of God in depth, in the essence is given. Like the cream of the whole thing is in Upanishads. The end में, human life किस लिए है वगैरह, वो सब आंसर वहाँ मिलेगा हमें. So they give us the final knowledge. That's why it's called Vedant. End of Vedas. End of Vedas doesn't mean कि Vedas सब खत्म हो गए. No. What is towards the end of Vedas? That's what it means, Vedant. So that's how we have to look at it. So what Nikhilanandji was mentioning, he kind of put it in perspective, the whole thing, that they say before you arrive at the Upanishad, we have to go through the karma and upasana to prepare ourselves. And we saw in Bhagavad Gita also exactly, Krishna Bhagwan said, and as I said, there could be people who can directly handle Upanishad, So we are not talking about exceptional people, but in general, we are talking about that you have to do karma yoga first, purify your mind, upasana and all that, then you can understand the knowledge. Otherwise, you will get you will understand it not very well. You will have your own ideas into it and all that. So we know about all that. We have learned over the time now. So, and then he was saying that how, just like I mentioned, that this same concept is expressed in Bhagavad Gita also. And because what Bhagwan did in Bhagavad Gita is that which we are studying, he modified it a little bit and made it simple for us to digest. On one hand it is simple, and then other hand we still need lots of gurus for even Bhagavad Gita. So you can imagine for other things it's like even more difficult. Okay. And then he was just saying, Nikhilanandji was saying that in Kali Yuga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga is also very important. Same concept, that you have to understand about those two also. So then, in nutshell, one who goes through this process of Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, and then you become fit, to understand what is revealed in the Upanishad. And then when we study Upanishad directly, you can see that it is so difficult. If we just take the word meaning, kuch gusta nahi hai khopdi mein. You need so much contemplation and you understand, because they use such few words and in code language almost sometimes, and then so many things we have to, unsaid things you have to extract from it. And we'll see that when we go to our Taittiriya, this verse is also, just the question itself is so complicated, so many aspects are there. So that's what it is, difficult. And then we know that, just to review it so that we don't forget these things, that there are many, many Upanishads, few hundreds and all, but 108 Upanishads are identified as like they are there. If somebody wants to study them, they are available, But Shankaracharya ji picked about 11 out of this 108 They were like almost like a main Upanishad with reveals the entire spectrum of ideas, approach from different angles. So that those are 11. And then he made commentary on it. And then a lot of other people like Chinmayananji and all took that Shankaracharya ji's commentary and then gave another commentary so that we can understand in our language. Because even Shankaracharya ji spoke in Sanskrit. हम लोग के जैसे तो lost हो जाएंगे. So we, very grateful. Our Guru Purnima came just few days ago. Very, very grateful to all the gurus of the world for, making us understand all this difficult knowledge, and, we can make use of it. So that's how it is. So this is what it is, that these Upanishads, they reveal the nature of Brahman, and which ultimately will tell you that you are Brahman yourself. That's why those words, Tat Tvam Asi, Aham Brahmasmi. But if you take it in the wrong way, so some people can become egotistic also. I'm Brahmasmi, I'm this thing, I'm like God, I'm God. That's not what they're talking about. In your essence, you are God. If you're saying this limited body, I'm God, I cannot be. It's like one little wave saying I'm the ocean. On one hand, there is a truth in it because both are H2O. On the other hand, there's a big difference between one wave and the entire ocean. But if you get connected to that ocean, then you are as though, ocean itself. So that's how we have to contemplate. But what Nikhilanandji was saying, that out of thousands of people, very few become qualified and reach the level of Upanishad. So we are trying, and we should pat ourselves on the back for trying. We have not grasped everything of Upanishad, but at least we are interested, and we are trying. I think we should be very happy that we are, one of the few who are going on that path. And then he's saying that most people in the world get stuck at the level of rituals and the various type of upasanas. They think that is the end, okay? And so because why does that happen? There is a whole scientific reason behind it. We have different desires in our life. All of us, you see, if you go and, what desires do I have? There are 3-4 basic desires there. One is the desire of security. बस मेरी life secure हो जाए, because we know that, one day we are going to die and all that, but still we want security while we are alive, and even after death, मैं अच्छी जगह पे जाऊं, you can call that security. And of course, this next desire for everybody is, I want to have pleasure in my life. I want to be joy and happiness and this and that. We know, we all want that. Whatever we do, we want that. And then there is one more desire that not everybody has. उसको मुमुक्षुत्वम बोलते हैं, right? Mumukshutvam is desire for liberation. I feel bound, I feel limited, I feel like I can't do everything that I want. Whatever way you want to say, or I don't know, my body, we are in this group where a lot of us are senior citizens, we know what happens to our bodies and when we get old. Everybody has a smile on their face. Nobody needs to tell us. We have experience now. We are experienced. So we, उससे छुटकारा मतलब जो भी उसका कारण मुमुक्षुत्व, desire to be free, but that desire is actually rare, according to and you can see why. Because generally people focus on all these other desires. I want security and I want this and that and all that. And then, this desire also of all sorts of wealth, so that I remain protected and I enjoy myself. We know about all that. But the other thing is that if you read in the Vedas, so they will say that, you can get all these things and you can also secure your life after death. If you are looking for pleasure, if you have that desire, okay, you can do all these yagna yagas and you can fulfill your desire in this life, and you say, don't worry, in the next life also you can do it, wherever you go. So they give you this. So in short, people just want in this life or next life security, pleasure, and also feeling that I want to be a good person, right? वो भी सबको चाहते हैं. कोई नहीं चाहता कि मैं दुष्ट बनूं या ऐसे कुछ करूं, So we want to be good, okay? एंड सो इसी पे अटके रह जाते हैं ये 3 चीज़ों में. और मुमुक्षुत्वम थोड़ा सा कम लोग चाहते हैं. इवन दो कृष्ण भगवान ने कितने वर्सेस में बोल दिया कि once you get that highest, you got it all. Or, but I think somewhere people have a doubt that because, when they talk about Brahman, there is always a doubt because, hey, nobody has seen it. And it is, you can't comprehend. So then does it exist or not? And that's exactly same question the student is going to ask in Taittiriya Upanishad also. So here Shraddha comes that we have to. So that's another topic. So here in these 2 verses, Bhagwan is talking about those people who are involved in these rituals, but their intention is not to get that liberation, not to love God, or not to attain God, but attain these finite things. That's what he's talking about. So attain Swarga, and just from one angle, even Swarga is part of Bhagwan only. So they are seeking the pleasure, but through indirect methods, number one, and not knowing this whole spectrum of things. It's like a little child, he will feel most secure and all that in mother's lap, but he wants to go and play. And he wants to increase his time of play longer and longer. He doesn't want to eat. He doesn't want to sleep. I want to play. Finally, mother gives the toys. Okay, go play. When you get tired, then come to me. You can look at it this way. So if you have all the desire, भगवान ने different लोकास बना दिए. ठीक है, जाके enjoy करो वहाँ पे. जब मेरी याद आएगी तब आ जाना. Something like that we can think of. So now the words they have used over here is, for Swarga they said, Swargati prarthayante. Means they are seeking that प्रार्थना करें कि मुझे स्वर्ग मिल जाए. तो what is स्वर्ग now? How do we describe स्वर्ग? There are a lot of description up there. But in nutshell, full of joy, pleasure, good security there, like no fear of getting old because the body is only not there. You are in the subtle world. When your physical body is not there, there's no death and all that over there. So from one aspect, you can say that the body doesn't die and all over there, and no fear of यमराज आ रहे हैं अपना वो भैंसे पे बैठ के मेरी जान खींचने के लिए. वैसा fear नहीं होता है वहाँ पे, because you don't have the body, even though we have learned from these shastras that it is not a permanent residency there. So don't be under delusion that when they say no death, it just means that physical fear of death and all is not there because you don't have a physical body. Okay? So that's how we have to look at it, that old age, disease, death, all the things that we fear in this mortal world on this earth, that doesn't exist over there. And Nikhilanand was funny because he knows that Indians like all the sweets and all. He's saying you can eat as many gulab jamuns over there as possible and कुछ भी नहीं होगा, कोई डायबिटीज वगैरह नहीं होगी वहाँ पे. यहाँ इसका मतलब ये है कि जितनी भी डिजायर है ना पूरी यहाँ तक भर के you can enjoy it. So that's how he was saying. And then he also immediately said that, how do I know that? So this is just inferring that the gulab jamun and all is not exactly said like this, but inferring. He's saying because I've read in Kathopanishad, that it's there. That none of these ailments are there. I've read that in Kathopanishad. And he also said, hey, all of us may have been there too. We just don't remember. Right? हम भी स्वर्ग का शायद होके आ रहे होंगे, because in this 2 verses he's going to tell you that you go there and then you have to come back. So it's possible that हम भी जाके आए हैं वहाँ पे, तो हमको याद नहीं है. So then, the reason Krishna Bhagavan said Trey Vidya Mam means the knowers of this Veda, because these are the literature where all these ritualistic things are there, and to gain the punyas to go to Swarga. And then he talked about this Somapa. Somapa is that those drinkers of Somaras, some kind of herb or ras, and there are some controversy. They could never find कि कौन सा वाला वो कोई पेड़ की जड़ वड़ होती है जिसका रस निकाल के वो लोग पीते. Somebody wants to do some research, they can do there. They are still trying to figure out what it was, But they were drinking those things, and as a part of the ritual. And when we come to the Swamiji's commentary, he's going to tell us that in modern language, how can we see this somras pan karne wale kya hai ye, and all that we'll see. So, and then of course they have done punya karma. That means they have purified their mind to a certain extent. There's no doubt that they are because put papaha means they have purified their mind. They made themselves free of pap. That's why they could go to the Swarga. But they were not seeking the highest. That's what he was trying to say. And Yagye Ishtva is, the various type of rituals and all that. That's what that word means. And then, so they, not knowing Bhagwan in his essence, they do worship God, but with a desire. That's what it means, Swarg prarthayante, with a desire they worship. And then in the worldly things we know, India में तो बहुत होता है कि ये डिजायर फुलफिल करने के लिए ये मंदिर में जाओ, वो करो, कितना करते हैं लोग, लाइन में खड़े होके नारियल फोड़ेंगे, ये सब करेंगे. We know that. Nobody needs to tell us about कि fulfilling of desire में कितना वो सब religious चीजें करते हैं लोग. And then, but there is no chance of getting liberation in the Swarg. That they have clearly said, from the Swarg, you cannot get liberation. You have to come back on the earth again. Okay. And then when do you come back? When your punyas get exhausted. That's the whole cycle. And then, so next verse mein unhone wo exhaustion of punya ke bare mein bola hai. So we will do that one also because it's connected. Okay, so verse 21, and then we'll read it together because Swamiji has a commentary together. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam kshine punye martyalokam vishanti evam traidharmam anuprapannaha gata gatam kama kama labhante. Te is they, tam is that, bhuktva, having enjoyed, swarga lokam, in the heaven, world of heavens, vishalam, it's vast. We think that the earth is vast, that one is probably 1,000 times bigger, massive, everything is there. Sheen hona matlab exhaust ho jana, khatam ho jana, at the exhaustion of punya, we know merit, punya. Martya lokam, the world of mortals is us on this earth. Vishanti, you come back, enter back into it. जैसे वो space shuttle आता है ना वापस, वैसे ही हम भी वापस यहाँ पर आ गए. Okay, after everything is done. Evam, thus, Traidharmam, of the three Vedas, same thing. The people, Traidharma is, we know, knowers of the Vedas. Anuprapannaha, abiding by. So these people who end up in this work, they are also abiding by the Vedas only. They are not but they are not just going in the depth of Veda. वो बीच में रुक गए, वेदांत तक पहुंचे नहीं. Gata gatam, the state of going and coming, taxi service. Okay, Uber these days, Uber, go and come back. Kam kamaha, desiring desires. We have full of desires, so that's what will happen. Labhante, to attain. So now we saw that these people who follow the path of rituals and all that, so with the desire for the Swarg, and not for the pure love of God with great devotion or dedication, no, just the desire. So they perform these rituals, but they perform it like an action that will give them some result. And we know that whenever there is a action and result, it is finite. It's not infinite. Only by seeking infinite, you go to infinite. So these actions are performed. And he was just saying that, just trying to make us understand that in the world also, if we want something, we put purusharth and then we get the result, right? I want, to attain something, so I do all the karmas, and in the end, I will get it. If I do it correctly and all that, and if it is possible and all, you will get it. That way, same way, these yagna, yagas and all they do, they have a subtle action performed to get, and then you get the result after the death. Because they are seeking that punyas, they are collecting to go after death or on a vacation, I guess, that we can compare it to that. And then go to Swarg and enjoy all the pleasures and all that. And then when he was comparing to the vacation, he's saying that, because he must be giving the pravachan in India, so he'd say we're just like going to Switzerland. There's something about in India, उनको कुछ पता नहीं कहाँ से आया है, मूवी से आया है कि क्या कि स्विट्जरलैंड कोई बहुत ग्रेट है. It's nice, but there are hundreds of other nice places in the world. So I don't know why they are stuck on Switzerland. Maybe they are not anymore, but when we were growing up also it was. So he was mentioning that just Switzerland वगैरह जाके आए, लेकिन थोड़े दिनों के बाद you have to come back. You're not going to go live there, So then you come back, and this place is Vishal, like there was that word. There's another level of consciousness, you can say. Because you don't have the physical body, so that's why we're calling it another level of consciousness, this world over there, subtle world. And then he was just mentioning that the entire experience is different. And we have kind of talked about it, but so they, having reached that place and experience all these special pleasures, but then what happens? We may be just enjoying over there, but हमारा पुण्य क्षीण हो रहा है, हमारा बैलेंस शीट कम होती जा रही है, पता भी नहीं है कम हो रहा है. That's the thing, because we are just so happy, and we think it's an immortal place. No, it's not. It's a very long period, of course, but punyas are getting exhausted. Okay? And because this whole thing he mentioned, uska jo base hai wahi punya se mila hai, means result of punya of karma that you have done. So slowly kharch hota ja raha hai wo. Okay? So and then the way he said is something very interesting which I never thought about. Okay, he's saying on this earth we have a body, right? And the body start getting old, And so we are seeing our body getting old. So we are aware कि एक दिन हमको मरना है, फिर हम दूसरे लोगों को देखते हैं कि so हम लोग aware हो जाते हैं यहाँ पे. There are some people who may not contemplate over it, but if you 10 minutes also you contemplate, that if somebody is dying one day, I'm going to be in that shoe, right? And then body deterioration. But वहाँ पर क्या problem है कि वो कोई बुढ़ा नहीं होता, कोई डिजीज नहीं होता, कुछ नहीं होता, तो पता ही नहीं होता है कि कुछ होने वाला है, कि वह खत्म होने वाला है टाइम. I thought that was such an interesting point. That's why they say that earth is a place where you can get liberation, because it will make you think. Again and again, do I want to go through this? Maybe not. Then I will be more mumukshutvam. वहाँ पर mumukshutvam मिलने वाला नहीं है, because सब नाच गाना हो रहा है, सब satisfy हो रहा है, और we're not seeing anything negative, so I'm not thinking about it. So see how much importance it is of seeing something negative. Okay, it's a very important point. So he was saying that, so we don't know when we are going to quit, and he gave a very interesting analogy, because sometimes we say, how can that be possible? Is that possible? But that analogy will open your mind. And the analogy is that when we are seeing a dream, तो ड्रीम हम लोग देखते जा रहे, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, मैं ये कर रही हूँ, वो कर रही हूँ, वहाँ पे बूम, अचानक ड्रीम खत्म हो जाता है. कोई ड्रीम में आके बोलता नहीं है, हे अभी तेरा ड्रीम खत्म होने वाला है, you better finish that ice cream or gulab jamun, because in 2 seconds you're going to be up and there will be no gulab jamun for you. So that's how the swarg is, according to him, that when you have to quit, it will happen in like 30 seconds or less. And then you're not even aware कि सब खत्म हो गया, taxi आ गई है, जाओ अभी वापस. Very interesting point it was. So this is how it is. You leave this word, look at Shine Punya. Okay, and then it says Martya Lokam Vishanti. So you enter this world of mortals again on this earth, and why earth is considered mortals? Because it's called Mrityu Lok. You've heard of this. Because whoever is born, the body is going to die. No doubt about it. Whether even Krishna, when took up a body, he had to give up. Rama, everybody, So हम लोग कौन सी चीज़ हैं? All of us have to give. And then there's another philosophical thing over here on the earth, that it's a constant death over here. Right? Like even scientifically speaking, our cells and all, they keep changing and dying. So it's a constant change is also called constant death. That's why it's a world of mortals. Because वहाँ पर स्वर्ग लोक में for the longest time you are the same. And then suddenly you quit. So you don't have this slow deterioration like we kind of experience over here. So that's why it's called a world of mortal. And then another very interesting thing Nikhilanandji mentioned, that in some Upanishad, instead of the word Vishanti, which means to enter back into the world, they have used the word Patanti. Patanti means you fall down again, from all this world of joy and things like that, So you come back on the earth and start from scratch again. फिर से करो सब yagya yaga too, because you want to accumulate punya if you want to keep going there. Okay, so he was just saying that, analogy is just to understand from the worldly perspective. He gives very good analogies. I like to share those analogies with all of you. So he said, suppose there is some poor person on the earth. He lives in some very kind of apartment which is not very good. यहाँ पर तो खैर अगर apartment भी खराब हो तो पानी वानी तो आता है यहाँ पे, पर इंडिया में कैसे वो पानी नहीं आता है 2-2 हफ्ते तक. सो ऐसे आदमी का कोई उसने पुण्य वगैरह किया एक्यूमुलेट, फिर वो स्वर्ग चला गया, वहाँ पर एज दो लिविंग इन सम वर्ल्ड टूर के लिए चला गया वो, बिकॉज विशालम राइट, वर्ल्ड टूर के लिए गया और 5 स्टार होटल में रह रहा है, गर्म पानी ठंडा पानी सब कुछ आ रहा है और सब कुछ खाने पीने को मिल रहा है. फिर अचानक जब सब खत्म हुआ उसके पैसे वैसे, बूम, बैक टू द सेम अपार्टमेंट. पानी वानी जा नहीं है, some worldly thing that we can kind of understand. So that's what it is. And then the other words were like, Trividya Anuprapanna means the same thing, the knower of the Vedas and all that, Karma Kanda portion, they know very well. Okay? And then this word is very important, Gata Gatam. Because even Swamiji said that Krishna Bhagwan ने बोला कि बस आगे पीछे घूम रहे हैं इधर से उधर, उधर जाते हैं फिर वापस आते हैं फिर वापस जाते हैं, गता गतम, गोइंग एंड कमिंग. दैट्स व्हाट इट इज, शटल सर्विस स्वर्ग का. विद दीज कर्म कांड एंड ऑल द कलेक्टिंग ऑफ पुण्यास आर गोना गिव यू शटल सर्विस फ्रॉम दी back and forth. That's all it is, nothing more than that. So that's what it is. So it will go on, and if you don't break this cycle, this is what's going to happen. On and on it's going to go. Okay. So this is what he said, that mainly people understand by the term religion, unfortunately. That they feel that a religion is meant for just collecting the punyas and going to Swarg, and then that's why he was saying, he was just reminding, because he sometimes goes in detail that India में ये सब बहुत होता है ना कि एक पर्टिकुलर डे पे तुम जाओ और गंगा जी में स्नान करो तो इतना पुण्य मिलेगा. So everybody rushes over there, and then but they don't know what is behind it. They don't study to see what, that if you don't create that understanding of who God is and just get stuck in this, or ye upvas karo to punya milega, ye pradikshana karo. We are not saying that don't do all these things, but you do it with understanding. If you are doing it to purify your mind so that you can understand, that's fine. But if you are just doing because that's it, that's what my final goal is, that then there could be a problem. Or ye nariyal phodo, and all that, we have seen it all of it. Ye jal chadhao to ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega, like that. And then he also said, which is very important, that a lot of people will create fear that ऐसा नहीं करोगे तो नरक में जाओगे. ऐसे डराएंगे. So he's saying that जो religion of fear होता है ना, that talk about hell. किसी को डराना हो ना तो ऐसे हेल की बातें करो, और किसी को उकसाना हो तो प्लेजर की बातें करो. अरे ये करने से तो स्वर्ग में पहुंच जाओगे, तो दोनों में गड़बड़ है. Okay? So but he's saying that the real religion is actually understanding of moksha, liberation. Neither hell nor heaven, because both have a problem, according to him. We might think that heaven is great, but that also has a problem. So transcending both heaven and hell, and both are bondage. If you do a little more contemplation, both are bondage. So in nutshell, these verses, 2 verses are talking about that the Karam Kandi, they have a desire for pleasure, and they desire of sense pleasures ज़्यादा है उनमें, and mind level also. I want joy in my mind and all that. And then they just do the effort to fulfill that. But he also was reminding that we have also learned no matter how much you satisfy the senses, there's no end to it. Because the senses come back and demand more. Just like a hunger. I can eat 3 meals and tomorrow morning I'm going to get hungry again. So as far as our senses are concerned, so that's the contemplation we have to do, because they are like fuel. You keep putting in the fire, it'll keep burning more and more and never get exhausted, So this is what it is. So it is not going to be complete satisfaction. It's just gata gatam, coming back. So this is what he spoke about in these 2 verses. And we don't have time to read today. So we'll read Swamiji's commentary next time. And in the next verse is a very, very important verse. Verse 22 that we'll be doing after we read this commentary, of course. And that is considered the center of Gita. So many commentaries done on it. And those are the people who surrender to Bhagwan by understanding his true nature, what happens to them and how Bhagwan takes care of them. It's a very beautiful verse. I'm very excited about when I come to that 22 verse. So hopefully all of you can come. We will be doing probably the class in the mandir. So this is what it is over here. Any question, comment? Anybody wants to add anything? Gatagatam to Swarg.
I have a question now.
Yes,
Rashi.
sure.
If our punyas get us to Swarg, how do we, we have learned in the past that what we are working on today or what we are currently working on, it goes into our next birth. How does the 2 connect?
Okay.
Because if I'm depleting all my punyas in the Swarg, what am I going to end up with?
Oh, you're talking about the reincarnation, we come back on the earth, so then we have heard that, yes.
And then
okay.
Would I be in the middle of my chapter of Gita, or am I going to have to start at kindergarten again?
So that's very, very good questions you asked. So first is when they say that reincarnation, we automatically assume that the reincarnation is going to happen on the earth only, right? But if you study the Shastras, that's not true. You may come back on earth, you may come back, even Patal Lok they say, or some kind of a creature underground, we don't know, right? Or you can go to other lokas like Swarg and all that. So reincarnation is a very broad thing. So that can happen. But the second question is very, very important what you asked. And that is that, what did you ask?
That, whatever...
oh, yeah, I got it. Whatever we have studied, will it go to waste, right? Yes, sorry.
Yes.
So that will not go to waste, because in chapter 6, Bhagwan said that whatever worldly things that you study, you have to come back and again and do it, right? So suppose if I got a PhD in this life, then I take birth again, I got to start with kindergarten. That we know. There are some kids who retain something from the past and they are called prodigy and all, and they do, those are exception. Most of us, we have to do that. But whatever you do in your spiritual world, Krishna Bhagwan said, never goes waste, and you always start from where you are. That is a promise of Lord Krishna in chapter 6, and if you want exact words, I will give you. That gives us so much satisfaction. So whatever we study here in a Gita class, it will stay with you, and when you take the next birth, wherever you are, it's going to continue from there. That's why you see some people get immediately attracted to these things. Children, there are, because of this internet and all that, we see there are 5-year-olds who can give a discourse on Gita, this, that, and then he gives a little more detail over there in chapter 6, that a person who has made effort, because Arjuna's question over there was, hey, I'm making all this effort and tomorrow I kick the bucket and die, will everything go waste? Will I just like a cloud get बिखर जाऊंगा मैं, ऐसा होगा क्या? Because फिर फायदा क्या करने का? बोला नहीं, you will be born in a very rich family where the pious people, rich and pious, So you don't have to struggle for earning money, and you can put your dhyan into this kind of spirituality. Or you will be born, if you are really very, very far you have gone, and then just before liberation you die and you've still not gotten it, you'll be born in a yogi's family, where the whole family will help you to go on that path, and then you will attain liberation. So in other words, it absolutely doesn't go waste.
And what's the difference between spirituality and punya?
So punya, all he's saying is, जैसे मैंने बताया ना, वो example दिया, that if you have lot of desires in you, okay, and then you are doing punya karma, तो वैसा result मिलेगा. So the whole thing in Bhagavad Gita is become desireless, desire of the worldly things. And the desire of worldly thing is very, very strong.
Yes.
That's why most of us get caught up into it. You know, oh, मेरे बच्चे की शादी हो जाए, मेरा ये हो जाए, मेरे सब ठीक हो जाए, everything should be so, every family member should be happy. And उसके लिए हम लोग क्या क्या नहीं करते हैं, right? So वो भी एक desire ही है, because everybody has their own journey. So that desire is so strong, but if you do with the desire, Bhagwan will still fulfill your desire, because you are doing with that good actions with those desire. But then that's all you will get. That's all he's saying. You know, in the worldly sense, it's like, I want to work very, very hard and I want to get $1 million. Okay, great. You know, with $1 million, you can buy a lot of things. But somebody says, hey, if you do this, you will get unlimited money. You're going to have a bank account and never exhaust. In the end, which one will you go for? You know, that's what it is. So here Bhagwan is saying, hey, if you attain me, or you realize who you are and from the essence, you will get everything. The whole world, that's what he's trying. It's hard for us to believe it, because nobody can show you that, right? So we have a doubt about it. But the more Shraddha we create in his words, more effort we will do, because at some places it is said, the effort is the same, whether I want worldly things or I want Bhagwan. Why not put effort for the higher? That's what they are trying to say. That's what Krishna is saying. But in the Bhagavad Gita also, towards the end, Krishna Bhagwan says to Arjun, I have told you everything now. Now you go and do as you please. So he still gave him the freedom. कि ये करने से ये होगा, ये करने से ये होगा, वो करने से वो होगा. अब तुम जाके चूज करो, तुमको क्या चाहिए. So किसी को वो वेकेशन अच्छा लगता है, तो there's nothing wrong. जाओ, मजा करो, फिर वापस आओ, फिर अर्न करो, फिर मजा करो. That's up to you. But he's telling you different things. That's what it is. I hope I answered the question. I don't know.
You did. Thank you.
And I think I miscalculated. We can still read. I thought that it was already 12, but it's not. So we can read this, because it's not.
Just a simple question, a silly question, in fact. Who is enjoying in the heavens? It's a subtle body. You know, the body enjoys, right? There is the mind, there's the body, and that enjoys. Who is enjoying there, and how do we finish up our punya, so to come back? Who is that?
Oh, you mean, yeah, it's still the jiva. Because until you reach that, it's we call it, on the subtle body is nothing but mind, intellect, and the vasanas together, right? That's what is traveling over there. So it is the mind over there, mind, and you don't have the physical body, but the body को दो part में divide किया, right? The physical body and the subtle body. So when you die, when you say I'm dead over here on the earth, that means the physical body, the 5 elements have gone back to it. But your mind, intellect, and the impressions are still there. That's the one enjoying it.
Okay, so I mean, enjoy. It seems like I need a body to enjoy.
No, but we have this wrong notion that I enjoy only in the physical body. That's not true. अच्छा, सपने में जब भी हम सपना देखते हैं, तभी फिजिकल बॉडी से डिस्कनेक्ट होता है कि नहीं, राइट? फिजिकल बॉडी इज डिस्कनेक्टेड. हम लोग स्टिल एंजॉयमेंट फील करते हैं कि नहीं? वहाँ सपने में लड्डू खाते हैं तो बहुत मजा आता है, लगता है कि सचमुच खा रहे हैं. कोई थप्पड़ मारता है तो पेन भी होता है. So in the subtle body also enjoyment is 100% there. You know, we just, हम लोग को समझ में नहीं आता है because इस अर्थ पे यही बॉडी है तो हम लोग लगता है यही है. ऐसा नहीं है. Subtle body में भी enjoyment हो सकता है. Because mind is still there. And if you think about it for a minute. When we are on this earth, we have the physical body, but the enjoyment is always felt in the mind.
True. That I
Right?
agree
And
with
then
you.
moment you have a disconnect with the physical body by giving some anesthesia or something, उसको मारो काटो, उसके सामने लड्डू लेके आओ चाहे कचरा लेके आओ, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला because it's disconnected. So the mental is a place where you feel joy, and that's why when we learnt in this Taittiriya Upanishad that when Anandamay Kosh ki pratishtha is the Brahman, actually the joy is coming from there. But I mistakenly think that, but one thing is for sure, scientific fact, the joy is always felt within you.
True.
Yeah.
No, I agree that it's within you.
So just,
But I guess it's hard to.
it's hard for us. Yeah.
Because I see there's an action, there's something from outside or even from within. There is something that creates that enjoyment. I mean, in there, it's all enjoyment, but you know, when we do this action here, then there are results also, right? Even with enjoyment, there is a result. There, you know, something. There is nothing else. I'm not accumulating anything there. I'm only exhausting whatever I'm taking.
That's
with me.
absolutely true that you are exhausting over there, and but you know there is a little bit of controversy about that, because even in the Swarg, if you go to those Puranic stories and all that, they can accumulate bad karmas in Swarg. Just you cannot get liberation. That's all it is. Because
Yeah, that I know.
because even Indra, you know, he started doing some bad things and he had to face the consequences. He started lusting over some women, this, that, some things happened over there. So, but one thing that they are very clearly said, that Swarga Loka is not the ultimate place. It is just another Loka for pleasure, and nobody has so far gotten liberation directly from the Swarga, because you don't have this duality, कैसे बोलना चाहिए, to be able to see something negative. अगर तुमको किसी को बहुत क्या बोलते हैं लग्जरी में ही रखा जाए, just a hypothetical situation, you know, then he will not question life. You know, it's like what happened with Buddha. Everybody knows Buddha's story, that when he was young, his father said, मैं तो इसको इतनी लग्जरी दूंगा कि ये सोचेगा भी नहीं कि क्या है मृत्यु ये वो, तो उसको एकदम छुपा के रखा उसने. जैसे ही उसने देखा वो 4 चीजें बाहर गया, उसका विवेक जाग गया. Because he said, oh my God, my body is also the same like these guys. One day I'm going to get sick, you know, and towards the end, that's what happened, right? Some people believe that he was poisoned and all that. So that's what it is. So in Swarga Loka, you don't have that, I shouldn't say the word luxury of knowing. Maybe it is the right word. You don't have because you're not getting old, you're not getting the disease, you're not getting all that. मजा के लिए गए हो तुम लोग वहाँ पे. तो
Yeah, but there is no body to get old. There is nothing to
right, but it still ends because your subtle body will have to travel back. So focus on I know that you have this question. Think about all the things that I said about the subtle body. Subtle body also, and the best example that we have is we enjoy our dream,
Yes,
you know,
dream
without,
is that.
yeah. So that means it is possible, you know, with having a different body. Or
So can I say something? I think what I understand from what you're saying is that liberation is non-existence. I think do I understand it right that you will even stop feeling the sensations and perceptions, and there is no ego or no subtle body existing? Non-existence is liberation?
see, when we say non-existent, that's exactly the topic we have taken up in Taittiriya, and here also the previous verse with the, you know, Asat and Sat. There are some philosophies in India, they just stop at that and they call it non-existent, shunya, like Buddhism and all that. But in Vedanta, they call it purna, or it's like you're going towards totality. So there is a lot of joy and all that. So it's not like nothingness. By giving up this, you get everything. By giving up the small things, you get infinite everything. And that's what we all crave for, is infinity. That's why the senses are never satisfied. तो किसी को $1 billion दोगे ना, वो बोलेगा मुझे 10 चाहिए, मुझे 100 चाहिए. There is no limit to it. Unless we get this infinity, we are not satisfied as humans. And infinity can be attained only by liberation. Liberation means you are merging back to that infinity. That's what it means. So that's how I would put it. Yeah. So, any other burning question?
Just a comment that again and again and again they are describing heaven, but emphasizing it is finite.
Yeah.
And once you know the difference between finite and infinite, then you choose which one you want.
Correct. That's what it is. It's still our choice. You know what we want. Well, all it's saying that if you do, with the desire you pray, Bhagwan will fulfill that. If you do it correctly, he will fulfill that. He is a giver of everything. But if you want him only, he'll give you that also. But then you got to make that effort. But he is giving you all the hints possible that if you get infinite, you got everything. You're not missing out, because we have this fear of missing out because we don't know. See, that question will come in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Does Brahman actually exist or not? Even those students have question. Because, proof dikhao. Sabhi log yehi chahte hain na? Even scientists will say the same thing. What proof is there that God is there? तो किसी ने तो मजाक भी किया, okay, you don't see the air, so why are you breathing then? So, hey, there are things that we don't see and we still use it. So.
But Umaji, the Lord calls the people who want heaven foolish.
Yes, in the bigger picture, he does. It's like a small child, it's like you are trying to take him for the real ride in the car, and he said, no, I want to play with the toy car. Once usko thodi akal aati hai, fir usko chahiye real car, right? He matures, then he wants it. But so it's the same thing. Okay, if you want toy car, take it, enjoy it. One day maybe you will wake up. So, spiritual maturity is then that's what it is, that, leave these small things. We did Kathopanishad together, a lot of us, right? You saw that Nachiketa. Usko kitna lalach diya. Finite. Because it's a finite mein log beh jate hain. मैं तेको आयु देता हूँ, मैं तुझे 3 लोगों का राज्य देता हूँ, सुंदर स्त्रियाँ, जो चाहिए सब ले ले. तो liberation की, it's a very difficult subject, he said. You won't be able to hack it. He said, no, I don't want any of that. And there is another famous story about this rishi had 2 wives. And in the end, he said, I'm going to go in the jungles to meditate for liberation, and I'm going to divide the wealth between 2 of you, and you guys live happily. Now, so one wife became very happy. I'm getting all this wealth and all that. The other one said, you are giving up all the wealth and going. What are you going after? I want to know that. It has to be more valuable. Why would you give up otherwise? So then he gives her the Brahma Gyan. That's the whole story in one of the Upanishads, that, how these, just a drishtant, that, hey, because we don't know the value of it, we may, because we don't, somewhere we have a doubt, and we still run after once we get more and more value, then we will have more efforts towards it. That's how it is. What's the time? I think that, okay, in that case, it's already noon, right? Yeah, so we will read next time, because then Taittiriya is we can do Taittiriya and just read that next time. No, wait, we will just read it. It's okay. It's only three paragraphs. Sorry. Who wants to read it? Anilji, since you were not there last week, you want to read?
absorb it.
So read the
The
20
movers of
and
the
21. The 20 and 21, the translation, and then we will go to the...
So 20 and 21, right?
Yeah.
The knowers of the three Vedas, the drinkers of Soma, purified from sin, worshipping me by sacrifices, pray for the way to heaven. They reach the holy word of the Lord of the gods and enjoy in heaven the divine pleasures of the gods. They, having enjoyed the vast heaven world, when their merits are exhausted, enter the world of mortals, thus abiding by the injunctions of the three Vedas, desiring objects of desires, they attain to the state of going and returning samsara. When those who are well read in three Vedas and who know the prescriptions laid down by the rituals perform those sacred acts of devotion and sacrifice with the desire to enjoy the celestial bliss, they come to enjoy in heaven the divine pleasures of the Devas.
So now we have gone in very much in detail, right? That they do all these, collect the punyas, perform these sacred acts of devotion and sacrifice with the desire, and then that's what they get.
Umaji, they are also using the example of Soma because Soma Ras, it gives you temporary pleasure.
It could be. There are all different interpretations, and some people call it Amrit because वो पूरा पुराणिक story है ना, उन्होंने अमृत पी के वो अमर हो गए. They thought अमर हो गए, but basically, whenever there was a fight between Devas and Asuras, Asura always got the defeat. And these guys were protected by, because they were good people, of course. But उसकी भी अवधि खत्म हो जाती है.
Right.
It is just a relatively long and peaceful and happy life. That's how we have to see. It's relative still.
The Soma drink is the milky juice of a creeper plant, which is used in the rituals and taken in very small quantities at the end of the function. Thus, the phrase drinking the Soma juice is to be understood as when the performance of the ritual has concluded. These desire-prompted ritualisms yield their finite results, and Krishna indicates that these ego centers, after having enjoyed in the celestial realms, they enter the mortal world on exhaustion of their merits.
So it's, he's just talking about, okay, read that footnote and it will become clear that why Krishna Bhagwan said that, Som ka kyun unhone kiya, because it's like they have done the punyas and it is kind of ended. That's all. But read that footnote.
Something equivalent to what we mean in the modern times when we say when they finish their small coffee, we mean when the dinner party has come to a close.
See that? It's just like an indication that, okay, that's all it is. And we don't need to worry about it because they have already breaking their head trying to find out what the Som Ras is, and nobody's been able to find out कि क्या पीते थे. बहुत पुरानी बात है. जो कुछ भी होगा, they were part of the ritual.
The pitiable disgust which the Lord feels for such men and their unintelligent seeking for the finite is clearly expressed when he concludes how these ritualists, abiding by the injunctions of the three Vedas, desiring desires, they repeatedly come and go. This passage reminds us of a more severe criticism the Lord had raised earlier against the pursuit of desire-born ritualisms.
So here it almost looks like Swamiji is also very much disgusted. It's just a wake-up call that, hey, whatever you are doing, find out what you are doing it for. Is this going to give you some permanent happiness or not? That it's just trying to wake you up. That's why he used that word. And he thinks that, gata gatam, obviously, nobody wants to be kind of constantly. तभी बोलते ना अपने फिलॉसफी में तो बहुत कॉमन है, जन्म मरण के चक्कर से छूटो. बचपन से हमने सुनते आए हैं, right? But we don't know what it means. Now we know that even if you go to the other lokas, up to the Brahma loka, everything is finite. Remember? We read that whole thing in the previous chapter 8. It's all finite. There's long periods, but still, you're not there yet until you have the infinity. That's what they're trying to say. Okay, in the connecting thing, there's 2 lines, right?
What about those men who worship the eternal with desireless love as the substratum for the entire universe?
So now this next verse, it's so important because we get kind of confused that how do I desire just Bhagwan and what will be the benefit here in this world with it? Nobody has seen कि मरने के बाद मैं स्वर्ग जाऊंगी. We don't know. But how do I put my mind and what will I get out of it? So all that will be explained in the next verse, and it's very, very important verse, like we said. I said that a lot of people have done a lot of commentary about it. This verse.
Umaji, I'm confused about these rituals to satisfy a desire. This is a sheer waste of time, isn't it?
See, from the highest perspective it is, but this is what it is. I cannot even pretend, if I do have a desire, that I don't have a desire. Then it will start bursting out from me. So desirelessness is a very, very high state. Until I'm there, if you want to fulfill some desire, it's not such a bad thing. But do it with dharma. That's what it is. So when we say that desire is all bad, the Shastras don't look at it this way. All it's saying is, okay, if you do have desires, and if they are simple desires, and go fulfill them, no problem. A time will come, wo apne aap chhoot jayega. When the more you connect with the higher and higher, desires will automatically drop. And that is the better way to drop the desire. But if you suppress them, I don't have desire, and andar bhari padi hai desire, it's going to come out in a pretty negative way. So each person has to decide for themselves that, बोलते हैं ना, अपने में झांक के देखो अपने आप में कि है कि नहीं desire, और है तो then there are methods how to get rid of the desire. Connect to the higher and higher more, धीरे धीरे अपने आप छूट जाएगा. So instead of saying desire are good or bad, you can use those desire to go to the next step by convincing that these desire don't mean anything after a while. That's how I would put it.
So the effort should be to drop the desire, not to...
Yeah, drop the desire with understanding. Yeah. Rather than suppressing it. Yeah. So more satsang, more studying of Shastra, more getting convinced. Studying of Shastras for Bhagwan's sake, not to fulfill the desire. Again, you will get caught into chakkar. Yeah. So, any other question, comment? Anyone? Okay, then I'll close Bhagavad Gita here. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhya moksha ishyami ma shuchah. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.